All right, back at it again.
What episode?
This is 10.
10 it is.
Because we just filmed 9. Like, literally, 30 minutes ago, we filmed 9 because we're getting ahead so we can fall back behind. It's an endless cycle, a lot like adulting. Adulting. I stroked out there for a second.
What about adulting?
It's hard. It's hard. So is parenting. Parenting is hard. They don't... Well, you and Mom, you guys had your ways of letting me know that being a parent was hard. Mom would let me know just point blank, like, being a parent is hard. You let me know by saying, I can't wait till you have kids. That was the way you told me. So, and it's true. And I was a hard child to deal with. Not so much for you. I'm sure I got on your nerves, but I feel like Mom had the worst of it when it came to, like, me growing up. So
Your mom definitely had it hard, and it was not. You know, it's so neat. You get so close to your kids. Like growing up, I was close to both you and Brianna. Had a lot of fun times, and then when you got into all this, you know, doing floors and just building the sheds and everything, then it was your mom all the time. And to tell you the truth, you know, I got a little jealous. Not jealous that I couldn't do what your mom could do, but jealous that, you know, wow, dang, now Chris hangs out with his mom all the time. But that's why it's so nice to have this podcast, because we have something.
just wait. She's going to start working out with me because you can't hang. So
That's true. Chris's mom, my wife, is a beast, man. She's a little overweight, but her arms are what was it, 14 and a half?
yeah, I meant that when I said that last night. When she flexed, I was like, are your arms bigger than mine? Because I don't view myself as a big person. I've been told, like, people tell me all the time, they're like, you're intimidating. But when somebody says intimidating, I'm just thinking of my face, because there's a lot of times I'm not smiling. I don't smile a lot. They say it takes more muscles to frown than to smile. I don't believe that. I don't think it's true. Or I just have really good frown muscles because I never feel it. So that's what I think of when I think of intimidating. Like, I just feel like they look at my face and they're like, geez, he looks mean. Like, I don't think of the rest of me, which is what the majority of the time people are talking about when they say I'm intimidating. So yeah, when I asked, are your arms bigger than mine, I legitimately meant that. So then we measured and they weren't, but in my mind I was like, dang.
Maybe for her size, they are equal to yours. For, you know, because she's small and
she's the mathematician. We can ask her to figure that out for us.
Yeah, and when
we'll
I
get
said
back to you on that one.
When I said my wife's a little overweight, she is, but not. Her arms are rock hard, and watching her work out, she's been with me.
Overweight by whose standards? Because, like, if you think about it, like, when I was in the Navy, when I knew I had arrived to that moment in time where I am a big dude, is when I had to weigh in for the PRT, and they said I was overweight, so I had to go get in this line and get taped because they had to make sure the dimensions matched the weight. And, of course, they taped me, and I was good to go. That's when I knew. I was like, I have arrived. So if you taped Mom, would she really be overweight?
She would be overweight. She would be, because she probably.
You can sleep at my house tonight. It'll be all right. You can come on over. I'll make sure the couch is made up real nice.
I would say she probably, to be in really good shape, she probably needs to lose 15 pounds.
She'll get there as long as she keeps working out. You guys have been going. Actually, it sounds like she's pretty excited about it too.
She's really enjoying it. Which she's working out 6 days a week. She lifts with me 3, and then she does the water aerobics 3. And for any of you who are thinking, well, how long she been doing this? Lifting with me over 20 weeks now. So she's definitely enjoying it. Her knees are feeling better. So she's debating. She's still waiting to see whether she's going to cancel the appointment with orthopedics for her knee. And, you know, I hope This exercise takes care of it all.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in exercise fixes a lot of problems. Also, the way you eat. That's one of the main reasons I got back into working out, because I realized how fat I was getting. And when I mean fat, I don't just mean weight. I mean just my physical, not physical, I'm sorry, my mental. Excuse me. My mental and just the way I felt. I just felt like absolute garbage. And since I've been lifting and everything again and eating healthier, the improvement is just, it's night and day. It's crazy.
So you were feeling like a Three Musketeer bar.
What's the reference?
Fluffy, not stuffy.
Yeah. I feel like Fluffy would have been better. So I was stuffy too. It was crap. I hated it. I felt like a fat ass. And in my mind, whether people believed it or not, maybe people saw it, I don't know. I was. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I had to get in the gym. I had to be disciplined.
Yeah, and it's been this would be the third day. Something that I've done. I just started it 3 days ago because I do have bad habits, but I gave up sugar. Like there's sugar in your food, and of course fruit. It's its own sugar. And but as far as drinking sodas, drinking energy drinks, that's done. And just in this short time, maybe it's psychological, maybe it takes longer than this, but I actually feel different. I really do.
Yeah.
So your diet is so important. And I'm thinking just knocking out energy drinks or sodas, I think that alone I'm going to lose weight, because my buddy in West Virginia, Dennis, I think he said he knocked out soda and like 2 months, he was down 15 pounds.
See, I knocked out the amount of soda. I still drink soda. It's still I normally drink about one a day, which is way better than the amount I was drinking before. And just doing that, and before I had really gotten into working out, I lost 10 pounds. So that shows you how much soda I was drinking, though.
Yeah, but 10 pounds. Listen, for all of you, if you want to lose 10 pounds of ugly fat like that, it's very simple. Cut off your head.
I'm going to have to add a disclaimer at the bottom of this video. Please don't do that.
Hey, and speaking of working out, we're on our way I told you the story, but listen, I'm trying to be nice to people, and people out there need to be nice. My wife was driving to the Y the other day, and to the left, there's a stop sign, and then there's a stop sign between the left and the right. It's weird. It's weird coming out of that intersection. But anyway, the guy was coming up to the left. Now, I'm in the passenger seat. If you scare me in the passenger seat, my wife did the right thing. It looked like this guy was just going to blow through it and keep coming straight. The only problem is you have to turn either left or right. You can't, you could go if you're going over to that other road. But it looked like he was aiming right for a car, and my wife hit the brakes. And I look at the guy, and he starts freaking cursing us. And I forgot that I was trying to be nice to people. And I mean, my fingers flew up so quick, but there wasn't 2 on each hand. There was only 1. And, I mouthed profanities back at him.
Next time, just jump out of the truck and start stripping down naked and tell him to get out and fight you. Throw him for a loop.
That's probably what I need to do.
Nobody wants to fight a naked guy.
Listen, you never know who you're dealing with. I'm an old man. I'm 60. That is old, by the way, believe it or not. And I know they tell you, for the normal person, it probably is. Well, it's difficult to get a person's eyes. Listen, I had to defend myself one time in the Army when a guy came at me, and I put my thumbs right on his eyes, and I said, I'll take your frickin' eyes out. And later found out this guy was using cocaine and everything. If I would have known that, I would have beat the piss out of him. But I was so angry with this guy the other day, and that's probably why I had some problems
Yeah.
afterwards. Listen, my situation is so bad. I say, well, this is what's giving me stomach problems. This is what it's always a different thing giving me stomach problems week to week.
It's stress.
It's stress. I'm really starting to notice it, and if I can get that under control, then I can go back to working out like I like to work out. But try to be nice to people, because you're gonna wind up with somebody who's skilled like me and angry like Chris, and they are going to take your freaking eyes out. They're going to snatch your life from you. And I've got to remember to just let things go. I had a guy tell me one time, and I did it, and it does work. He said, look, when you get in that situation on the road where you're angry and they're angry, just look right at them and stick your tongue out at them. And I did. Your mom was driving one time. This was back in North Carolina, and something happened with these girls, and there were two of them in the vehicle, two of us, and the girl leaned, the driver, and she was F you and all this and giving me the bird, and I just looked at her, and I went, and her passenger started laughing so hard that all the problems dissipated. Try to think of things like that. Instead of giving the finger, hold up, just go. And they'll think you're giving them the peace sign. And by the way, our middle finger comes from this, from Britain, back in the war when they used arrows. I forget who they were fighting, but when their enemies would capture them, capture the bow and arrow people, they would cut their fingers off. So the ones, when they were in war and they'd be shooting, they'd give them the signal like that, showing, hey, I've still got both of my fingers. And then, of course, in America, we broke it down to one. So just like Chris and I talked about curse words here, anywhere, they're only curse words. They're bad words because we say they're bad words.
Yeah.
They're just things we made up. This over in Britain, you do that to somebody, you're doing this as in America. So it's just let things go. And I need to practice what I preach, because
Same.
I said some things to the guy. I mean, he could read my lips, but
I've had so many situations of forward progress, and then I just, take a vacation backwards. That happened to me the other day when coming to the four-way stop. I get to the stop sign first. I stop in a white Jeep Liberty. I'm calling that white Jeep Liberty out, so that way maybe if you stumble across this video, come fight me. I still want to fight you.
No,
I should let that go, but anyway.
Mention that you were on your motorcycle.
I was on my motorcycle. Came to the stop. I stopped. They were coming up. They stopped. It was more like a California stop, and as they were stopping, I was starting to go, and they went real quick in front of me, and at first, I did really good. I was proud of myself. I was like, good job. Good job, Mr. Angry. Because all I did was I waved at him. Of course, I'm wearing my helmet, and I got my jacket on and my gloves, so, they can't really see my face. But I'm like, hey, how's it going? And then I blow them some kisses. And at first, I was like, yeah, you did good. You did good. Way to go. Good for you. And then they proceeded past the second stop sign and down our street. It's 30 miles an hour, and they were not doing 30 miles an hour. And I was like, I could just whip around them, but my turn is so soon. Man, I got a lot of burps today. My turn's so soon. What if they decide, they're just going to run right through me? So I didn't want to go around them, which was causing me to get angry again, because I'm like, you cut me off just so you could drive under the speed limit. So my anger was boiling again, and as I made my turn, I flipped them off, and I was hoping they saw it and would turn around, because by the time they would get turned around and find me in my driveway, I would be off of my bike, and I would literally knock their head off. So setbacks. It's been a long time since I've had somebody cut me off like that, though, which is weird that they did. I don't know. Maybe they just weren't expecting. I don't know. Maybe they didn't even see me, which is fair. But in my mind, you got to look left. You got to look right. There's no way they miss it. I got to, it was sunny out. It's not like it was dark. It was sunny. Got this crazy looking helmet. My bike has a decent exhaust on it that you can hear. So I don't know. I should have let it go, but I failed. But I wanted to back to the parenting and mom and everything. So she's always been about the size that she is since like I've known her. Like there hasn't been much change. Like me, I've changed since she first met me, just I've changed. But when I was growing up,
your mom was 117 pounds when I married her.
Yeah.
She's changed.
Yeah.
But
since I've been,
yeah.
If I go back to as far as I can remember, she really hasn't changed much. I mean, it's been, so you got to picture me at 16 years old. I think I was 130 pounds maybe. And parenting is hard. She told me to clean the bathroom, and I did. She went back in and she checked it, and she was like, do it again. So I did. And she checked it again. She goes, do it again. So I did. And then she comes in and she checks it. She goes, okay, do the floor. And I was like, okay. So I cleaned the floor, and she went in and she checked it, and she goes, do it again and do it right. And this time, instead of saying, okay, and doing it, I looked her straight in the face and I said, you do it. Now, here's where she doesn't really remember it the way that I do, but I remember it very vividly. She went to smack me in the face, which by all means is definitely an okay thing to do after your child mouths off to you like that. She went to smack me, and in all of my great wisdom at 16 years old, I blocked it. So her being a mother and also having two older brothers, she punched me in the face. And, that landed me on the ground. And what was crazy was, I don't know if she knows this. I don't know if I ever told her this. So that upset her a lot. She went out and sat on the back porch. And before she did, she told me, she was like, wait till your father gets home. And I'm like, my mom just punched me in the face. My dad gets home with a gun. I'm dead. There's no scenario where I get out of this alive. So anyway, she went outside, and I'm sitting on the floor for a minute, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I said, you know what? No, I'm not going to be here when my dad gets here. So I look out back. She's sitting back there, and I'm like, I'm going to run to Mexico. I'm like, they're never going to find me. So I get out there, and of course, this is when we're in Falcon Heights. And so I could run a block over and just, there's Mexico right there. So I get out, and I'm running, and it dawns on me. You don't know a lick of Spanish. You're not going to fit in anywhere, even if you try. You can't even act like a mute person. They're going to go, one of us doesn't belong here. That kid, no, paler than, a piece of paper. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back, and I'll just take my punishment. So I went back to the house, and my mom was still out on the back porch. So I don't know if she even knew I left. And I just waited for you to get home. And I will never forget the conversation because, well, I only remember part of it. You came in, oh my gosh, and I'm clear at the other side of the hallway, and you're like, what are you doing on the floor? And I'm like, Mom will tell you. So you go into the bedroom, and you shut the door, and it sounded like, it was like, he what? Oh, really? I'm going to take care of this. So you open the door, I'm like, here it comes. And you're like, did you disrespect your mother today? And I said, yes, sir. And you said, oh, now you want to start being respectful? I hate those questions. How do you answer that? I don't, no, yes, maybe? Can I phone a friend? I don't, how do you answer those? So anyway, you played more. It was, I don't know if you did it on purpose, but whatever you did, it worked. I feel like you were playing a mental game with me because you were like, go to your room. So I did, and the whole time I'm sitting in there, I'm like, he's going to light my rear end up, and you never did. But then you called me in for dinner. That was the quietest meal I've ever eaten. And then you were like, get the dishes done and go to bed. And then, so that night I didn't sleep very well either because I was like, he's going to wait till I fall asleep and come in and get me, which he never did, but that's what my brain was telling me. So, and I just think it's funny now because now that I'm a parent, I'm like, how did my parents not throw me through a wall? Because there's sometimes with my son, oh my goodness, I'm like, give me a minute, because this is too much. You just stop, because it's comedy and it's also drama, and when you combine the two, it can be a hilarious thing, because I could make jokes and just make it and laugh it off. But however, there has to be structure in the home, and there has to be consequences for their actions.
Yep.
And sometimes it's hard because, like I said, I've struggled with anger, so sometimes I don't know if, like, okay, if what I want to do, how I want to lay down the law, is this me being angry, or is this necessary? And gosh, I hate that you're right. That I can't wait till you have kids. Yeah,
Well,
it's a fun time.
even more than that, I'm glad you have 2 children now, even though there's a tremendous age difference between them, because you're going to see they are so different, and you're probably already seeing it. But see, you were outwardly rebellious when you would be rebellious. Brianna was silently rebellious. So you were easier to catch because you were right in the face, whereas it was like Brianna was a little angel because we never really saw her doing anything, you know? And it's great to have 2 to see the differences. And, yeah, it is so hard, man. It's hard being a parent. And let me teach you something, because my wife and I, we've been house parents in group homes and everything. It is not illegal to spank your child. If your child needs a spanking, give them a spanking. But what my son said, don't do it in anger. Don't do it in anger. My wife popped Chris in the face because she could do that. Only thing I ever did to my kids, as far as I know, was give you spankings.
Yeah. And I need to rewind it. Like, that was, I do not once, I mean, obviously there in the moment, I'm like, I can't believe my mom just punched me in the face. But now looking back on it, I'm thankful. Like, I'm glad that she took that stand, because what kind of a disrespectful punk looks at their own mother and, like, demands that they do something that they were told to do. And if I just would have done it right the first time, that would have never happened. But, yeah, I don't hold any. I'm actually, like I said, I'm thankful that she did that, because it was necessary.
You know, no relationship is perfect. There's always problems and that you got to work through and everything. But for the most part, my wife Teresa is a saint, because she had to deal with me plus the children. And like I told you guys, I have a lot of anxiety problems. They were very clear that it was like walking on eggshells around me a lot of times, and you don't want it to be like that. So don't be angry. Don't be anxious. So easy to say. Here's another thing. Something that, as a parent, dealing with Chris, I don't know if you remember this. I'd come home another time. This is when we were living in McAllen, and Teresa tells me, Chris, be really disrespectful. And I was like, oh, no, it happened while I was there. And I turned to Chris and I said, don't you ever talk to your mother that way. And he automatically responded back, why? You do.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
You don't remember it?
Nope.
I'll tell you what, that changed my course, because I was like, oh, my gosh, I love my wife. I don't want to be disrespecting her. And my son just told me, you talk to her that way. And did I tear Chris's rear end up for that? How do you tear somebody up for telling the truth? I was just like, whoa. And I said, look, you don't need to be disrespecting your mom. Just knock it off. And then I've constantly been trying to grow and change. It's hard. It's hard. But as long as you're trying, that means you're moving forward. And like Chris says, oh, you have something come up and you feel like it knocks you 100 steps backwards. Okay, even if it does knock you 100 steps backward, start moving forward again. That's the key. Don't quit.
Yeah.
Quitters never win, and winners never quit.
It's crazy. The time that I don't know if I feel like I ever had to walk on eggshells around you. I definitely knew the what was expected of me and what wasn't. And when I didn't meet those expectations, I guess that's when it was like eggshells, but that was just because I was trying to hide what I knew I wasn't supposed to do. But like the one time that in Pueblo in the basement and you got done spanking me, then I sat. This is the type of kid that I am. Like all the things that my dad apologized to me for the way, how hard he was on me when he raised me. But honestly, it's made me who I am today. And
angry.
No, that was from the military. That has nothing to do with you. All the times that I can remember getting disciplined where somebody from the outside looking in might go, wow, that was too much. That was aggressive. To me, it wasn't, because I earned every single one of those spankings that I can remember, or the punch in the face. I earned that. That was earned by me. Nobody made me do it. But the one time you got done spanking me and I sat up, looked you right in the face, and I was like, that didn't hurt. Like, that's the type of kid that I was.
One I remember.
And he didn't retaliate then. Like, retaliate probably isn't even a good word, but he didn't do anything right then and there. But the next time I got in trouble, you best believe that the thought of it not hurting didn't even enter my mind. It was a successful finish. He got the last laugh.
And kids are amazing. I was in Walmart the other day, and those of you who go to Walmart, you'll be able to relate to this right away. I saw this family, and I looked and I said, from the jump, those kids don't stand a chance. I mean, you can look at white trash and know they're white trash. I mean, there's always exceptions to the rule. I mean, Dr. Ben Carson, he came from, the ghettos. His mom was very poor, and, he really reached high levels of success. But that's the, what's the word I'm looking for? That's not the normal.
Norm.
Yeah, he was he is, I'm talking about him like he's dead. He's an amazing man. But you can look at some people and just go, yeah, those kids are cursed, man. They're just going to carry on with 7 generations of welfare or whatever the case may be. And they're not going to school. They don't want no schooling. And of course, nowadays you're better off.
Let's go back to. Let's talk about schooling. Yeah. Why in the world? Listen. I think school, unless you're going to college, should be the basics. I think you should have to get that down. I don't know. Calculus, algebra, like all that, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm trying to think of all the times I've had to use it since I got out.
Yeah, but you say calculus doesn't make sense, but at least you can do algebra and calculus. I have no idea.
Yeah, but it's not. It doesn't. So. And that's what I'm saying. You have no idea how to do it. So why are you making kids struggle through that? If they're struggling with that, there's a good chance they're not going to need it anyway.
They're probably not going to college.
Like they need to teach like taxes. Like, how about you teach that? Let's teach some taxes. Let's teach, teach kids how to buy vehicles. So you don't wind up making a dumb purchase like I did, fresh in the Navy.
That would be more beneficial. Doing things like that would be more beneficial.
Let's make some smart moves. I don't understand why some of this stuff is being taught in school. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, and plus now, a small college would be okay. You don't want to send your kids to a university. They're just going to get indoctrinated. Nobody's teaching anymore. They're indoctrinated. Indoctrinating is a nice word for brainwashing. These kids who go away to major universities and they come back so liberal. Oh,
yeah.
It's just insane. I got to see a college graduation picture. It was this girl sitting down. She had on her robes and that hat. And on top of the hat, she had put a sign, 4 years of university, and I'm still a conservative. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive.
That's funny. What's gonna make fun of all the meth heads in this town? I don't.
We just got to see one. We just get to. I've never. I see the meth heads. I'm not around them, but very close to where my son lives, I got to see one talking to themselves, and now just again today, I got to see another one walking down the street as we were on our way to Walmart. I was
Then on the way back, it looked like she was having a conversation with a telephone pole.
Yes, yeah. And we were on our Walmart. We ran to Walmart because I wanted to see if there were any kids there who I could say, yep, they don't stand a chance. They are not going to make it.
Would you ever seen somebody talk to a telephone pole like they own money? Picture that. It's a fun one.
We need to, yeah, that's another thing. Good education, man. Get these meth heads, put them on the other side of a one-way mirror, and let young people see how these people act and behave so we can keep them from doing drugs. I mean, I think it would make a difference if the, kid who's like 10, 11, 12 gets to see a person talking to a wall or something. It might register in their brain, hey, you know what? I don't want to go that way. That's education. That's how you man, school. Listen, I understand in this day and age, things are so expensive. But we sacrificed for our kids. Teresa and I gave up doing a lot of things so that we could get our kids schooling outside of the public schooling. It's even more
and I
important.
pissed that away.
Yeah, but you know what? It's even more important now, man. Your kids are going to school, getting CRT, call me by my proper pronouns. Man, if you want your children to succeed, get them out of the frickin' public school system.
Sadly, some people can't. They got no option.
Yeah.
Which is all the more reason to, if you don't have that luxury, if that's not something that you can do, make sure you are spending tons of time with your kids and teaching them wrong from right and teaching them how to be benefits to society versus a weight. So that's what I would say, because I do know that there are some people who watch this show who they don't have that luxury. So that's definitely, I don't want them to think judgments are being thrown.
No, not at all, not at all. That's why I said in this day and age, it's really hard because stuff is so expensive. Listen, I'll show you how.
Hey, every time he says listen, the ones who are listening, do you sit up? Oh, he said listen. I mean, because you're pretty direct. Listen.
Yes. Listen, right now, when we were a family of four, me and Teresa and Chris and Brianna, it cost us $600 a month in groceries. Now we are a family of two, Teresa and myself, and we are spending over $600 a month for groceries. It's insane.
Yes, the cost of living has gone up, but you have to remember, how often do we come over and eat with you guys? Well, we come over we're coming over once a week, at least, at a minimum.
And you guys bring food?
Yeah, but I mean, we still help eat your food. So
No. I'd like to say that's it. It's expensive. We buy a cow.
Also, I noticed that you guys are buying name brand stuff now instead of the Great Value. You could
got twist up. Got twist up.
Yeah,
got twist up,
that's
man.
Fair.
And definitely, I tried them fig bars numerous times. Well, I'm not doing them anymore because the sugar. But yeah, Fig Newton's rule. Fig bars, yeah, they just don't taste like.
No, those ones are delicious. I don't know.
No, not those in the packages. I'm talking the Great Value fig bars.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with you.
I think I
there.
know what's wrong with the fig bars versus Fig Newtons. I'm thinking fig bars lack that important ingredient called gluten. Yeah, they just don't taste like Fig Newton. I love Fig Newtons, but
that's like Sam's Cola does not taste like regular Coca-Cola. No. At first, like if it's cold, when you first crack the can open and you take a drink, it's good. But if you leave it sitting for too long, for me, I feel like I can almost taste the separation of the soda. Like it's super weird. I don't know.
That's
how to
because it's
it.
actually oil and water, and it does separate. Yeah, no, Coke.
Well, Coke's got it figured out.
Coke is, oh man. I worked for Pepsi-Cola for years as a kid.
You almost said listen again, didn't you?
Yeah, no, but I skipped that. I worked for Pepsi-Cola for years as a kid, and then in my married life too. Very, very, very hard job. But I swore by Pepsi over Coke. Then when we went down to Panama for Just Cause, me and my buddy had been out for a few days, and it was hot. We were thirsty, and we went over to I guess it was McDonald's, or I don't know where it was, but we got Cokes, and man, when we sipped those Cokes, it was so good, man.
Yep.
And then later on, we went to Burger King and got a Pepsi.
Yeah, not the same.
Yeah, definitely not the same. And that's when I was converted that Coke is better than Pepsi. And if you think I'm wrong, do the taste test. Have somebody hide the drinks in a box. Just have the straws coming out, and you take a taste and say which one's better.
Yeah, I can't drink Pepsi anymore. That one time that I tried it in the bottle, it tasted like chemicals, and I thought I was going to get an instant severe migraine. So I haven't drank Pepsi since.
And it is chemicals because
I'm sure Coke has just as many chemicals, but they hide it well.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Well, and like that, it was on YouTube, that high executive up in Coke. I guess he doesn't work there anymore, but yeah, everything they're putting in our food and Coke and all the sodas and everything, it's to kill us slowly. It's poison. We're poisoning ourselves and enjoying it.
That's the key thing. Enjoying it. Our show's poison free, so you should enjoy it. It's like a luxury.
It might be poison free. It might be a little bitter at sometimes, but overall, it's pretty good. Pretty tasty.
So yeah, that wraps up another one.
That's it?
Yeah.
Hey, one more thing. I don't know if you see his can there. He's drinking Celsius. And I've all told you guys before, man, I'm big time into energy drinks. Had to give it up, getting rid of the sugar. In here is Celsius powder, because that is an energy drink. And guess what? It doesn't have the sugar. Now, does it have sucralose? I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't look. It does.
I'm pretty sure it does.
That's more poison. But at least I'm poisoning myself, and I'm going to look thinner. So when I'm laying in the casket, people are going to say, man, he looked so good to be dead.
I got bad news for you. Am I paying for your funeral?
No. Body Science.
Okay, I was going to say, you're getting cremated. I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
It's way cheaper.
Hey, I want to, before we end, let me help you guys out. Those of you who are worrying about funerals and stuff, it's so expensive. Body Science, you can look it up online. My uncle taught me about this. As long as you haven't been in a car accident, because that mangles your body, when you die, you have a loved one they call Body Science. You can get online and find it. And Body Science comes and gets your body, and they use it for science, studying and everything. And then when they're done, they cremate you, put you in a beautiful urn, and send you back to the family. And then, like I told my wife, just dump my ashes in the backyard. Well, you got to take me to such and such and I'm not there anyway. Just dump the ashes out and let the dogs play in it. I don't care. But if you're worried about funeral cost, that's the way to do it. You pay nothing. Body Science takes care of everything. Just remember, you can't be in a car crash or a motorcycle accident because your body
pretty much rules me out. I feel like that's the way I'm going to go.
Oh, don't say that. I've been praying about this trip you're going to take, man. I keep saying, Lord, we just got the podcast going. I'm having a good time. Please bring him back safely. God. Yeah.
If it's my time, it's my time.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing we can do.
know.
But at least know I died,
Enjoying yourself.
with a smile on my face right before, I hit the car. There was a smile on my face.
Was there? There was a smile till right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right before. And then
you're
once.
like, oh crap.
Yep, for sure.
All right, hey, that was great, man. We are ahead of the game, so don't think, man, Thorade never changes his shirts.
Yeah, no, we filmed
two in a day,
2 episodes in one day. So,
have a good one.
I'm on. Bend the corners and the hard top, don't stop, I'm gone. Steady screaming hero game, boy, I know we on. If you ain't been a day one, please don't hit my phone. Tryna put mama in a new crib, can't stop, I'm on.